I would like to introduce to you Consumer Watchdog's founder, Harvey Rosenfield.
Thank you. Thank you. How about that mustache in the 80s, huh? Everybody who thinks I should grow that back, raise your hand. Okay, all right. Well, first I want to pause and take you back to a victory that was at the end of that videotape. Because I'll tell you the truth, I still can't believe that we beat Prop 17. The 400th wealthiest man on the planet decides to spend millions of dollars on a platoon of PR pimps to create the illusion of a pro-consumer ballot initiative that they claim will lower auto insurance premiums. And they put it on the ballot at a time when Californians needed every kind of financial break they could get. So polls showed that the voters were going to pass Prop 17. But what we did is what we've been doing for the last 25 years. We exposed that the sponsor of Prop 17 was Mercury Insurance Company, one of the very worst insurance companies in California with a long record of screwing consumers, and we showed that Prop 17 would allow auto insurance companies to overcharge soldiers, students, low-income people, and others who could least afford it. We confronted the company and its shills on the sidewalk in front of its headquarters, on billboards, in the editorial boards, in Sacramento, and in the last few weeks on TV and radio. We were outspent 12-1, but the voters changed their minds and thrashed Prop 17. Now, we could not have stopped Prop 17 without the crucial support of some key people in this room. And first, I want to call your attention to and thank our relentless, implacable, and utterly fearless longtime friends in the California Nurses Association. Their leader, Roseanne DeMoro, and their political strategist, Michael Lighty, thank you guys. And then there's two organizations that I have proudly worked with since 1986 in the cause of justice. The Consumer Attorneys of California, led by Nancy Drabble, who, by the way back in the day was my boss at Public Citizen. And Leanne Tratton, its political director, and the Consumer Attorneys of Los Angeles. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge two guys who, over a couple of drinks at the Pacific Dining Car, came up with a guerrilla media plan and convinced us to spend what little money we could raise to go on the air with 15-second spots that punched through to the voters and told them exactly what was wrong with Prop 17. That's Chris Lehane, who could not be here tonight, and Ace Smith, who is here. Thank you so much. While I'm at it, I want to add my thanks to Doug's for the people who have helped keep the Rage for Justice Awards going year after year, because they understand the power of our honorees' journeys and their stories, not only for what they have accomplished for society, but also because they inspire us all to continue our fights against injustice. And of course, I want to congratulate this year's honorees and Hall of Fame inductees. Okay. So you've seen on that videotape a glimpse of what we've done over the last 25 years, and you've seen how we do it. Expose, confront, change. Now I want to invite you to spend a few minutes with me on why we do what we do. It's something that we don't often pause to ask ourselves, but looking back at 25 years and looking out at all of you in the room tonight, it's an obvious question. Because the truth is, for every 30 seconds of triumph that you saw in that video, there were probably 2 years of hard work, and not all of those campaigns succeeded. So what drives Consumer Watchdog's litigation director, Pam Presley, to go to court to protect the rights of autistic kids when a government agency throws them overboard? Or why did Carmen Balber move to D.C. so we could stake a California claim in the federal health care fight? Why did Jerry Flanagan, our longtime patient advocate, decide to attend law school at night so he could do his day job better? And by the way, our paralegal, Carmen Aguado, is doing the very same thing now. And then there's Jamie and Doug. They spent a year and a half, night and day, fighting Prop 17 and keeping the organization going at the same time. It was Jamie who realized that we had to fight Prop 17 on TV using our very scarce resources. That was a really tough, courageous, risky call, but he made it, and it saved Californians millions of dollars. So why do these and the other astonishingly talented people who work at Consumer Watchdog choose to devote their lives to the public interest? We pondered the question 10 years ago when we planned the first of these dinners because we wanted to honor the president of the California Senate at the time, a man who single-handedly protected California consumers against a bailout of the state's utility companies after their scheme to deregulate electricity rates turned into a debacle. You're going to meet John Burton in a few minutes. All I can say is it's too bad there was no John Burton in Washington when Wall Street came calling in September 2008. So the answer to the question that I'm asking you, ironically, came from a book about John Burton's brother, the legendary Phil Burton, one of the most influential and effective members of the House of Representatives from 1964 through his death at the age of 56 in 1983. His biography explained that Phil Burton had a, quote, seething, perpetual sense of outrage and dedication to the disenfranchised, unquote. He vectored his outrage through a combination of cunning and courage to achieve landmark civil rights, consumer, worker, and environmental legislation. He won some, he lost some, but he never hesitated. He had, in the words of his biographer, quote, a rage for justice. Now look around at the people you are having dinner with tonight. Men and women who will take the night shift at a hospital to make sure a patient gets the care they need. People who walk into court every morning to demand justice from some of the most powerful corporations in the world. A wife who fought for her husband's life. Parents who did the same thing for their child. And they keep on fighting, though their personal cause was lost. A man who reached way beyond the comfortable world of finance to protect California's environment. The lawyer who terminated the Terminator's fire sale of our state's iconic assets. Why did they do what they do? Why do we do what we do? Because we have to. Because we are indignant. Because if we don't, no one else will. We don't care, and you know this about us, we don't care what anybody says, because this is not supposed to be a country where might makes right. Because we have a rage for justice. Now, not everyone has the strength to fight unrelentingly for a principle. Some people can't afford to. And these days, many wonder, what's the point? Main Street looted, and not one of the crooks has gone to jail. Judicial activists lie their way onto the United States Supreme Court, and now they're rewriting the Constitution of our country. A president with so much promise, but who has, it seems, no rage for justice. I want to thank each of you in the audience, our friends and colleagues, for giving the men and women at Consumer Watchdog the support we need to do what we are meant to do. Now, over the next year, we'll continue to fight for lower and fairer insurance rates, and we'll extend Proposition 103's protections to health insurance. Consumer Watchdog is sponsoring Assemblymember Fuhr's AB 52, which will slash the outrageous profits and the bloated executive salaries of the health insurance companies and lower health insurance premiums for millions of Californians. 24 years ago, when I was sporting that mullet, I could not get a bill to regulate auto insurance out of the first committee in Sacramento. But last week, Consumer Watchdog Mike Fuhr got AB 52 out of the State Assembly, a tremendous achievement. And over the coming months, we will continue to expose and confront the hidden thievery of our privacy and our personal information with Do Not Track Me legislation. But tonight, for just one night, we stand down from these tough battles. We pause to celebrate our victories, lick our wounds, replenish our resources, honor our heroes, and revel in our rage for justice. Thank you all for being here.